They've stood at the front lines of law, leadership, and public service. From the courtroom to the classroom, Attorney Karen Jimeno brings sharp legal insight, academic excellence, and a voice that has guided national conversations. Attorney Mike Toledo, a seasoned public affairs strategist and legal mind with years in media, corporate leadership, and government reform. Together, they bring law to life with experience, integrity, and the courage to ask hard questions. Two minds shaped by the law. Two voices trusted in and out of the courtroom. This is Abogado.
Good evening. Welcome to Abogado, where legal minds meet to discuss the most important developments in Philippine law. I'm Attorney Mike Toledo.
And I'm Attorney Karen Jimeno. Tonight's topic takes us to the intersection of free expression, accountability, and the law, an issue that directly affects journalists, content creators, and every Filipino who speaks their truth.
In a digital age where information spreads in seconds, should libel still be treated as a crime? Or is it time to explore more civil, reform-oriented solutions? Let's take a closer look at tonight's proposition.
Words have power. They can expose truth, demand justice, spark change. But they can also wound, destroy reputations, damage lives, and spread falsehoods at lightning speed. In the Philippines, libel is not just a civil wrong. It's a crime, punishable by fines and even prison. In an age of digital noise and viral misinformation, should we still respond with criminal punishment? Or is it time to rethink the law as we weigh rights and responsibilities, justice and speech? We ask, should libel be decriminalized in the Philippines?
Advocating for decriminalizing libel is Attorney Dino De Leon, a distinguished public interest and human rights lawyer. He's a partner at De Leon Arevalo Gonzalez Law Firm and holds an LLM with distinction from Georgetown University Law Center, having also studied at the Hague Academy of International Law. Attorney De Leon is a strong advocate for a freer and more accountable democratic space.
Now, offering a different viewpoint on the matter is an old friend of mine. He was our legal counsel, top legal TV personality in TV5, Attorney Melesio Mel Santa Maria, a former dean of the FEU Institute of Law and a current law professor at Ateneo, FEU, and UST. Beyond academia, he also is a highly respected columnist and broadcaster, having been honored by the Kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas and the Hiyas ng Sining Awards for Best Radio Public Service Program Host.
Before we begin the exchange of ideas, let's walk you through now how tonight's discussion will unfold.
We begin with the opening statements. First, the speaker supporting the proposition presents their position in a focused 2-minute statement. Then, the speaker challenging the proposition offers their perspective, also within 2 minutes. The conversation then unfolds through 2 key subtopics. For each subtopic, the guest supporting the proposition presents their insights for 2 minutes, followed by a 2-minute perspective from the guest challenging the proposition. After both perspectives have been presented, we move into the open exchange, a 6-minute free-flowing discussion where both guests ask questions, share points, and respond to each other directly. Once both subtopics have been explored, we proceed to closing reflections where each guest is given 2 minutes to summarize their key messages. And finally, the hosts step in with their own questions. In this 6-minute segment, the guests respond, clarify, and deepen the discussion, ensuring no critical point is left unexplored.
And now let us begin with your opening statements. The question, should libel be decriminalized in the Philippines? Attorney Dino, you have 2 minutes.
Good evening, everyone. Definitely, time and again, the law on libel has been abused in the Philippines, unfortunately. We've seen that in the case of, for example, Maria Ressa, who had to endure 10 warrants of arrest just because she was a publisher of Rappler. We've seen that even in the case of Enchong D, who was criticizing supposedly a public official and thereafter had to face a warrant of arrest and thereafter also had to face billions of potential damages. What's the point? The point is, even if, let's say, for example, there should be some sort of penalty when it comes to lies that are being propagated against a certain individual, I don't see necessarily why the state should be involved, and it can be a civil matter. Definitely, there has to be some sort of restitution when for example, when your reputation is destroyed. But it doesn't have to be criminal. It should just be a civil case because the offense is between two parties, two private individuals relating a private matter. So for me, it has to be civil in nature. It doesn't have to be criminal. No one should be incarcerated just because some people are speaking out. Not to mention that this is also a form of prior restraint when it comes to people in the media, when it comes to people who would want to express their minds, but they are afraid of the criminal punishment. If there's going to be a problem when it comes to those people who may be attacked, the main argument there is go to civil courts. You don't need to jail people just because they're expressing their beliefs. Again, this is a free country and there has to be freedom of expression as well in this country.
Thank you so much, Attorney Dino. Dean Mel, your opening statement.
Ako naman, yes and no ang aking posisyon. No sa decriminalization at yes rin sa decriminalization. Unang-una, ano ba talaga ang libel? Ang libel ay isang pampubliko at malisyosong paratang ng isang bisyo, krimen, kapansanan, katang-isip man o tunay, o kilos, o kondisyon, o status na nagdudulot ng pagkamuhi, pagka-denigration, yung denigrate ang isang tao, talagang kinasusuklaman mo na siya sa iyong mga pagbigkas ng mga karakteristik niya. Tandaan natin, ang libel, hindi ka nanununtok ng tao. Hindi ka nanggugulpe. Ikaw ay nagsasalita lang. So kung salita lang, bakit ka paparusahan ng 1.4 million na multa at saka incarceration of almost 4 years? So in terms of the penalty, talagang hindi ako sang-ayon dyan kung ang ating paparusahan ay ang mga legitimate na periodista, at saka mga usaping involving public concern, public interest, iyan hindi natin dapat paparusahan yan. Dapat walang krimen dyan. Pero sa larangan ng internet, dapat ikakalibrate natin. Kasi vicious na ngayon. Hindi natin tinatawag ng facts ngayon. Factoid. Kasi ikaw, Attorney Mike, pwedeng magbago ang curriculum vitae mo.
Oo nga,
may gagawa, di ba?
Sana mas gumanda.
O, hindi. Ang pinag-uusapan natin, libel, papangit yan.
Papangit, okay.
Iyan pa si Attorney Mike, bakit naging sugarelo? Bakit naging plunderer? Kasi binago ang iyong biography. Iyon, sa tingin ko, vicious na talaga yon. Iyon, masama na talaga yon. Talagang gusto mong diinin ng isang tao. So, sa ganyang punto, okay ako sa kulong.
Okay.
Pero sa mga periodista, hindi. Pero dun sa mga ganyan, vicious yun vicious.
Alam mo, partner, parang lumabas talaga ang pagka-professor sa Kadin. Naisip ko tuloy, di ba, nag-aral tayo sa College of Law. Yung elements of libel, di ba?
Yeah, sa criminal law, yeah.
Imputation of a crime, malicious, there is an identified victim.
Or identifiable.
Identifiable, kahit yung mga blind item. Take note, pwedeng malibel yan. But I find it interesting that si Dean Mel made a distinction. Pagka pala mga journalist, periodista, ayaw mong gawing criminal for them. But for Attorney Dino, everything should be decriminalized. So now let's talk about the balance between free speech and legal responsibility. Does criminal libel safeguard public interest or suppress constitutional rights? Attorney Dino.
Sa akin kasi, sa aking palagay, no, sa moment na ito na lahat pwede maging vlogger, lahat pwede tayong mag-express ng ating sentiment online eh. Tama. Mahirap na yung thin line kung i-identify periodista ba siya o hindi. Pero at the same time, you're just expressing your idea. And para sa free flow of ideas in a democratic country, para sa akin, dapat hindi nakikialam yung Estado pagdating doon. Ngayon, kung meron talagang offended party, sang-ayon naman ako na merong some sort of penalty. Pero hindi yan kulong. Kaya siya decriminalization. Pwede yan restitution, di ba? Pwede yan damages. At danyos, kumbaga, hindi kulong.
Okay, very well said.
Ako na, sige.
Attorney Dino, maganda yung opening statement mo at to a certain extent, nag-agree din ako sa kanya. Ikaw naman ngayon, Dean, your opening statement on the subtopic on constitutional rights, public interest, and of course, the legal safeguards.
Alam mo ba, ang pinangangalagaan ng profesyon ng ating konstitusyon ay press. Di ba? May freedom of the press tayo. Walang freedom to be a doctor or to be a lawyer, pero freedom of the press. So, ibig sabihin, naka-integrate na doon yung tinatawag nating privilege communication. Basta nagsalita ang press, may automatic privilege communication doon. Walang presumption of malice. Kahit na may magkakamali, kahit na may inaccuracy, kasi kung gagawin mong periodista, dapat accurate lahat. Baka kumuha yan ng data sa gobyerno, propaganda yon. Di ba? Pero kaya nga pinapahintulutan magkaroon ng debate sa mga salita ng press. Doon sa puntong yon, hindi ko gustong magkaroon ng criminalization. Pero sa puntong mga nasa internet ngayon, ito yung new phenomena natin na kahit sino pwedeng magsalita ng kung ano-ano na walang accountability, minsan anonymous pa, tapos pinapalitan pa ang anyo ng isang tao. May AI na ngayon, pati salita. Ako yan bakit ako nagsasalita? Iyon yung tinatawag ko Iyon ang sinasabi kong viciousness na yon. Talagang ang sama na nun. Kaya may kulong. Siguro hindi masyadong mahaba. Hindi siguro 4 years, no? Gawin na natin mga 2-3 years para lang matuto. At yung 2 or 3 years, subject naman to probation Nakalagay sa batas natin, if the penalty is below 6 years, mangako ka lang sa korte at mag-ayos ka lang ng mabuti, hindi ka naman ikukulong. So, yun naman ang mga safeguard doon. Pero yung decriminalization ng mga vicious na taong ganon, dapat meron ring kulong.
Okay. And now we have an open discussion. So the floor is open for questions and exchange of ideas. Who wants to go first?
I can go first, though. I'm very open to this topic. Pero siguro, ang kailangan ring matutupad ng batas as of the moment is yung fact na naabuso kasi kung may criminalization I'm talking about, again, the case of even yung kay Enchong D. Hindi naman siya periodista, hindi siya media, nakikriticize ng public officer, biglang mamaya may warrant of arrest na, no? So yung takot ba na paano natin masasafeguard na wala yung abuso na yan? As opposed to, let's say, for example, meron namang best balance yan may penalty pa rin, but not necessarily kulong. Kasi ang criminal law, di ba, kaya siya crime against society is because involve ang publiko, involve ang society. In this particular instance, nagsiraan kami ni Attorney Mike, bakit involve ang state? No, hindi kailangan sa involve ang state doon That is a case between the two of us which we can litigate at kung ako ay mali, ako ay nagkamali, bibigyan kita ng danyos. Hindi dapat i-involve ang buong machinery ng state, ang estado, ang prosecutors na pinapasweldo ng taong bayan upang makialam sa isang private matter na kami nagbabangayan.
Why is it private kung naging public na yung paninira?
Well, yung effect is private, no? Hindi, like for example, kung nagsuntukan yan, nagpatayan yan, may harm yun sa publiko Pero yung reputational damage ko, wala namang harm yun sa publiko no? At least that is the argument philosophically of those people who are saying this is beyond the interest of the state to repair your reputation, no? You can have you can repair your reputation, you can go to seek damages, court relief. Agree ako dyan. Kailangan may maparusahan. Pero yung pagkakakulong, isa-subsidize ng Estado yung proceedings na iyon through the awesome machineries of the state at saka yung mga abuso, hindi ako sure kung worth it yung potential for abuse na nangyayari sa
Pero Attorney Dino and Dean, pero pag ang pinag-uusapan na partner is a public official, as you sort of touched on it already, medyo nag-iiba na. Diba? Nag-iiba na yung theory, nag-iiba na yung when does malice attach.
But even in the law, in the revised penal code, the standard is also a bit different. The burden of proof shifts to the accuser or yung alleged victim to prove na merong malice yung sinulat against him.
Yes, o yung ang nagsulat, hindi siya guilty of any malice. Talagang sinulat niya, it was in good faith based on certain information or data. Nag-shift, and hindi nangyayari yan sa criminal law. I think this is the only one wherein nag-shift to the defendant to prove otherwise, no? So, I see, no, nakikita ko naman talaga yung nangyayari, yung na-weaponize na kasi partner, no, na yung itong law na file ng libel na nagiging kriminal. But ang tanong ko siguro sa iyo, Dean, and maybe also in response to him and perhaps to react to me, anong diferensya naman dito sa, ito yung criminal libel na nasa revised penal code. Ano naman ang sa cyber libel na nandun naman sa Cybercrime Prevention Act?
Yeah.
Sa kabilang Korte Suprema, walang pagbabago ang anyo ng libel sa ordinaryong libel at sa cyber libel. Ang nabago lang nagagamit mo ang internet at syempre, tumaas ng 1 degree ang penalty kung gagamitin mo ang cyber libel.
8 years yata, no?
Oo.
Yeah. Pero
yes.
mabigat din kasi
Mabigat.
minsan meron tayong mga 18 years old, so hindi na yun minor.
Yes.
And yet, pag may sinulat sila sa comment na libelous or may na-post sila na libelous, then they could really be subject to that criminal penalty of imprisonment.
Tama,
na mas
tama.
mabigat pa.
Oo. Alam mo, okay, talagang kailangan dito balancing.
Correct.
Kailangan mo dito calibration eh. Kasi you cannot just say, para lang sa akin, pwede dito, pwede sa lahat, hindi pwede sa lahat. No? Talagang titignan mo ang anyo ng ginawa ng tao. Kasi dapat tanggapin. Dati absolutista ko eh. Sinasabi ko, wala dapat, decriminalization dapat lahat yan. Pero kung tinitignan natin ang agos ng development, no? Yung technology, talagang mapapailing ka na talaga eh. Sometimes talaga, sobrang-sobra na. Okay, halimbawa Mike, nag-away tayo. Walang problema. Minura kita sa radyo. Minura kita sa newspaper.
Bakit lahat kayo ako yung inaaway?
Kasi mahirap tawahin si Karen.
Anyway, okay, so nag-away tayo.
Nag-away tayo. Minura kita sa radyo.
Yes.
Minura kita sa papel. Okay? Okay. Mawawala yung papel eh. Yung radyo, makakalimutan bukas eh. Pero kung ginawa ko yan sa internet at binago ko ang anyo ng buhay mo at sinabi ko si Mike, talagang ano ito, plunderer. Pwedeng paulit-ulit yan. Pwedeng makikita yan 2, 3, 5 years from now. Nagre-research kay Mike. Si attorney Mike, ano ba? Sino ba to? Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Di ba ganun di ba ganun na nangyari kay Maria Ressa in a way? There was a 2012 article that she reposted in 2014. Tama ba po?
Republished daw kasi may inedit. Tapos hindi na pasok sa statute of limitations. No? Kaya nga para sa akin, ang question is, paano natin babalansehin? Ang para sa akin, hindi ko na ba ina-advocate rin na wala talagang at all some sort of penalty. Pero yung kulong, yung penalty, doon ako parang natatakot. Ilang beses na rin ba tayo? Siguro tayo kung nag-Facebook kayo, nag-Twitter kayo, minsan may gusto kang saloobin. Nilagay mo doon. Tapos biglang baka libelous, so i-delete ko na lang.
So nagkakaroon talaga ng what you call the freezing effect.
The prior restraint, diba?
Yes.
Freezing effect. And para sa akin, ano ba talaga yung balanse? Sa akin yung balanse, di kung talagang may masamang mangyayari, at least danyos. Hindi yung ikukulong ako, magulat ako, nakakulong na lang ako, may warrant of arrest.
Well, very interesting, no? Naubusan tayo ng time sa open exchange, pero ang dami ko pang gusto tanungin.
Okay, talagang kasi ito talaga very sensitive part. Kasi napansin ko lang talaga ngayon, if I may, bago tayo pumunta sa next subtopic natin, everyone now, because of internet, because of social media, and because of technology, everyone is actually now a journalist.
Oh, yes.
But there's a difference. Ang malaking diferensya, walang accountability. Kasi unlike the established media, for example, talagang bago ka mag-publish, before you come out with any article, for example, or news report, there is a 2 or 3 confirmation procedure. There's a protocol.
There's a vetting process.
There's a vetting and protocol process. But in the realm of social media, where any vlogger can be a journalist, there is no sense of accountability, which is sad. Masakit. Kasi pag dinabas na nga yan dyan, at tinamaan ka at personal, hindi lang ikaw pati pamilya mo, pati trabaho mo, talagang maapektuhan. So, sa pananaw ko talaga, kailangan talagang pag-aralan din mabuti ito is because of technology. Perhaps without social media, we could have the status quo or maybe be more liberal in the decriminalization. But with social media, when everybody can say anything and they can get away scot-free, medyo malabo. Anyway.
And the other thing is, if it's a criminal offense, di ba meron tayong territoriality principle
Yes.
under
Yes.
our law.
Yes.
So it should be where the crime was committed. So paano kung yung sumulat ay nasa abroad?
Kasi ang libel, ang parameter ng libel ay yung bumabasa.
So kung nabasa dito sa Pilipinas, it doesn't matter kahit sinulat
It
pa
doesn't
yan.
matter. Yung bumabasa, nasa kanya ang clincher dyan eh. Ano ang dating sa bumabasa? So kung nabasa dito sa Pilipinas, may libel yun.
Pero gusto ko na sabihin ang nakakatakot pag criminal siya is ang Estado ang magde-decide kung saan niya i-allocate ang resources niya. At limited ang resources ng Estado. In other words, kahit na 10 tayo magdemanda, baka 5 lang i-prioritize ng Estado. Hindi kayo ipaprioritize ng Estado kung ano yung klaseng censorship ang gusto niya. Hindi kaya to silence opposition katulad na nangyari kay Maria Ressa at patahimikin yung mga katulad na kritisismo ni Enchong Di. Kaya sa akin medyo naiintindihan ko na kailangang i-regulate, kailangang balansehin. Para sa akin, ang pinakabalansa, hindi criminalization. Para sa akin, decriminalization with civil.
So, sinasabi mo, baka gamitin, i-weaponize nga.
Lagi nangyayari.
Ang gagawin nila, titirahin nila ang kritiko ng gobyerno instead of actually going against those irresponsible vloggers.
Kasi sino ba
or
nag-i-initiate ng
irresponsible
criminal
social media.
case? It's
Oo,
only
it's the-
exclusively
yeah,
by the state.
yes.
So this is a form of state censorship at pipiliin niya kung ano yung aallocatean niya ng resources.
Ako para sa akin, malinaw ang aking posisyon. Basta journalist ka, basta periodista ka, talagang decriminalize ka. Kasi 61% na nagdedemanda sa mga journalist, taong gobyerno.
Mga
Totoo naman.
politiko rin.
Mga
Agree
politiko,
tayo dyan.
mga mayor, mga vice mayor, congressman.
Pero badge of honor yan, ha? If you're a journalist, tapos meron kang libel case, it's a badge of honor.
Pero you
Bragging
know,
rights.
it's really also something that prevents journalists to enter public service. So just to
That's
give an
true.
example, Senator Erwin Tulfo,
Yes.
that was part of what was being raised against him, na meron daw siyang prior conviction of a libel case, which he did when he was still a journalist.
Correct, yeah.
But buti na lang natapos na yung years from the time he served the sentence. Pero let's say ikaw ay journalist na tatakbo, then it can be a ground for disqualification within a certain period. So marami talaga. But that's since we
Okay.
already raised the civil remedies, I think yun yung...
So now let's move, no? Just,
Yeah.
we've touched on it, but let's go deeper into it. Deep dive into the civil remedies, accountability, and what are the policy alternatives. If libel were indeed decriminalized, would civil remedies, apologies, damages be enough? I'll start with you, Attorney Dino, who is in the forefront of decriminalizing libel.
Well, sa aking palagay, what is the alternative? And lagi naman yung mundo hindi perfecto. So kailangan natin makita kung ano yung possible na pwedeng pambalanse. And as Dean and I agree that this is a matter of striking the best balance. And para sa akin, kung ikaw ay, kasi marami dyan hindi naman nag-aral ng batas, hindi nila alam yung mga elements. Pero kung nagkaroon sila ng transgression, di civil, hindi nagugulat na lang ako, nagsalita lang ako, meron na akong warrant of arrest. Diba? Mapapakulong na ako, hindi ko alam kung paano yung bail. And then gagamitin ito, weaponize ng Estado at ng mga kritiko. Hindi lang periodista, actually pati mga activists ang mga biktima ng cyber libel usually. Mga activists, si Teacher Ronel Mas, di ba? Yung mga ano na yan, dahil nag-express lang online, kung ano-ano mga kaso na ng mga binigay sa kanya ng Duterte administration. So kahit na ordinaryong teachers, activists, ay nagiging victim nitong weaponization ng libel. Kaya para sa akin, decriminalization na lang, civil penalty.
Ako para sa akin, kung totoo nga ma-decriminalize ang libel, isa lang ang pwedeng mag-deter dyan. Pasakitin mo ang bulsa niya.
Tama.
Di ba? Lakihan mo ang damnos pervisos. Kung ang namamatay na tao, civil aspect nun, 50,000. Mura di ba? Sa libel. Ligyan rin natin ang bottom line. Ang bottom line dito, hindi ka bababa ng 3 million, halimbawa, o 4 million ang damnos pervisyong ipapataw sa'yo. Pasakitin mo na lang ang bulsa. Di ba?
Well, now, since you both had your opening statements, we'll have another opportunity for an exchange. And at this point, I'd also like to ask this question na kung papasakatin natin bulsa, paano yung mga walang ibabayad na danyos? Kasi like what Dean Mel said, napakalaganap na talaga ng libel, especially with social media. And marami dun sa mga hindi responsable magsalita at masakit talagang, like what you said, very vicious na, ay hindi naman may kaya rin. So, how will civil remedies address yung pagpapatigil ng ganitong klaseng ugali?
Kung in other words, magastos, di ba, partner?
Oo,
Ang
magas.
finance
Pero
civil
kung wala
cases.
namang ibabayad din,
yun nga.
paano naman?
Magandang
nga?
tanong yan. Sapagkat sa ating, kung civil aspect yan, lang yan, alam naman natin ang buhay ng isang desisyon. 10 taon lang yan. 10 taon mo pwedeng ipatupad ang isang desisyon ng korte. Paglampas ng 10 taon, okay ka na. Wala ka nang babayaran. So kung talaga wala siyang pambayad, ano talagang magagawa mo? Talaga magtitiis na lang yung napinsala. Tapos lalakad yung 10 taon hanggang mawala. Yun ang downside
So
talaga.
to your
nun.
point din, na,
Downside
kaya
talaga
ayaw mo
yun.
tanggalin yung decriminalization. Kasi parang may pagkakataon na walang effective na parusa dun
Oo,
sa
doon lang sa
nakasira
mga,
na
hindi sa mga periodista, hindi sa mga lehitimong journalista, kundi yung sa mga gumagamit sa internet at talagang gumagawa na ng pagbabago o ng anyo ng mga tao kanilang tinitira.
So stronger deterrent sa'yo ang criminalize ang libel
Doon
pareho.
sa aspect na yun.
What about you, Attorney Dino?
Para sa akin,
ano yung solution
doon lang
doon?
tayo sa practical. Yung nakakasik talaga ng damage sa reputation mo, most probably, hindi ito yung pinaka-poorest of the poor. Hindi naman sila kasing influential eh. In other words, yung mga kayang makasira talaga ng reputasyon ko, mga katulad ng Didbel, katulad ninyo, si Siraan Yoko, marami nakikinig sa inyo, meron ako mahihita sa inyo. Pero kung sinasabi natin, yung poorest of the poor, magbabalot, may sinabi sa'yo, tingin mo ba talagang maniniwala lahat ng mga tao doon enough na nasira yung reputation ko? In other words, tandaan natin na danyos is based on proportionate damage to my reputation. Those people who probably have the influence, sila rin siguro ay may impluwensya, may pambayad, may ari-arian. So sa akin, napakamaliit niyan segment na yan para ikompremasa natin ang freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and para ikumpara doon sa abuse na nangyayari ngayon. I'd rather have that evil, very small possibility, compared to the number of harms that we are having in the status quo.
Palagay niyo ba matatakot sila enough? What about yung mga mental health ng younger generations? Because there have been instances in the past where some of the suicides were traced to cyberbullying, which
That
means
is
yung
true.
yung presence
that is true.
kasi ng mga sinasabi, ng mga comments. How do we manage that as well?
Sa akin, yung danyos perjuicios covered yun eh. Kasi, di ba, kung mapoprove man yung damage mo, nagkaroon ka ng mental health, syempre kailangan kitang bigyan ng some sort of compensation pang therapy. Kasi restitution, di ba? Kailangan maibalik ka doon sa unang kinalalagyan mo bago kita pinerwisyo.
So
In other words, covered yan. para sa akin.
preponderance of evidence lang.
Correct. Preponderance of evidence lang rin. Kasi ngayon, ang hirap rin naman pigilan yung mga tao na nagsasalita ng kung ano-ano kasi proof beyond reasonable doubt. Nung bago-bago pa lang ako abogado, naalala ko na ang hirap nag-file ng libel, yung kliyente ko, totoo naman na libel, pero hindi pa ako abogado noon, pero hindi na-prove yung damage. Kasi paano mo ipoprove yung damage sa tao? Kailangan meron kang mga witnesses, ha? At least 3, if I'm not mistaken, para ma-elevate man lang yan. Ang hirap din i-prove. Because proof beyond reasonable doubt, ang dami rin nakakatakas na nananadya. Ang daming mga vloggers siya na talagang naninira pero nakakatakas kasi proof beyond reasonable doubt.
Whereas, and binago pa ngayon ng rules, no? Ng rules of criminal procedure to even be filed as a criminal case, tumaas pa ng konti yung threshold.
Correct.
Reasonable.
Certainty
Oo.
of conviction.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So pag, I guess to your point, Attorney Dino, pagka ginawa itong just a civil case, yung preponderance of evidence, mas mababa yung threshold.
Tapos nakikialam pa yung Estado. Doon ako natatakot sa pakikialam ng Estado doon sa private matter. It's a form of censorship to me. Because whatever happens in a criminalized libel, the state will be involved.
And you're also
may
saying-
value judgment siya kung anong pwedeng sabihin.
And you're also saying parang you're wasting resources of the state for something that should be personal.
It should be personal, that's first. And second, natatakot lang talaga ako na siya nagsasabi, lagay tayo ng resources dito, mukhang juicy ito eh. Mukhang hindi talaga okay sinabi niya. Diba? Hindi naman kaya lahat tustusan ng libel, lahat ng paninira online. Naku, kung nilagay natin lahat ng comment section doon, yari tayo, ubos ang pera ng Estado. So talagang mamimili ang Estado kung anong pa-prioritize. Doon ako natatakot. I don't trust the state to be the adjudicator when it comes to free speech.
Or I suppose the remedy is also more accessible to people with money. Kasi kaya mo mag-hire ng magagaling na abogado, mas mahal, and then mas uurong yung kaso mo, malalakad mo pa.
Well, unang-una, lahat ng batas na abuso.
Correct.
Kahit na batas ng jaywalking na abuso yan. Kahit batas ng pagpuputol ng kasal na abuso yan. Inong-una. Pangalawa, hindi porkit hindi niya matutupad kung siya ay nabigyan ng hatol, hindi na natin gagawin ng batas. Dapat pa rin natin gawin ng batas. Kung may konting kulong doon sa mga sinasabi kong mga vicious people, then ligay natin yon as a form of deterrent. Whether ma-accomplish niya o hindi, nandoon. Kasi ang batas naman, hindi lang natin pinag-uusapan yung ngayon lamang. Pinag-uusapan natin yung kinabukasan. Pinag-uusapan natin ang society. So kung nagpataw ang korte ng isang desisyon at nagbigay pa ng exemplary damage, for example, sinasabi niya sa madla, huwag niyong gagawin ito. Kasi ito mangyayari sa inyo. Iyon ang punto rin nun,
Yeah.
na nagbibigay ng leksyon ang Estado sa mga gawaing nakakasira sa society natin. Kasi basta siniraan mo ang isang tao, basag. Basag ang pag-uugnayan mo sa kapitbahay mo. Basag ang pag-uugnayan mo sa sinabi mo, sa pamilya mo. Maaaring tanggal ka sa trabaho. So may ripple effect ang paninira kasi sa iyo. Kaya diyan pumapasok ang Estado.
But I like that you raised this, Dean Mel. This goes into legal theory na eh. Kasi diba, like what are the effects of a law that you passes on the behavior of society? So in this case, pagka linagyan mo ng pagkakakulong and you're saying it is a criminal offense na pwede kang makulong, then it might influence the behavior of people and their mindset na wag gawin. Kesa pag sinabing, okay lang, di naman ako makukulong dyan.
Sayang may sasabihin pa sana.
It's okay.
Dapat
Yeah.
isipin rin natin, ang pagkukulong, hindi naman ibig sabihin yung anyo ng Muntinlupa na para kang nasa kuweba. Ang pagkukulong, pwede ring ayusin kung ano ang pamamaraan ng pagkukulong.
Kaya ba natin? Kasi yung facilities natin limited sa Pilipinas, ha?
Oo. Tsaka iwawaran ka muna doon sa Bureau of Jail Management. Sa mga prison.
Pero yun ang challenge. Yun ang challenge ng gobyerno. Kung gusto nyo tuloy na i-criminalize ito, gumawa kayo ng kulungan. Pero wag yung klaseng kulungan.
Wag naman yung kasama yung mga hardcore criminals.
So, depende. So,
ibang
talagang
ano naman yun.
kinakalibrate mo, inaayos mo ang hatol.
Gusto ko lang sabihin, agree ako kay Dean Mel na sa legal theory, merong normative power ang batas, tinuturuan natin ng leksyon or normalizing effect yung society. Doon ako actually takot. Na it will be the state who will do yung value judgment kung ano ang acceptable speech, ano ang hindi acceptable speech when it allocates resources. Doon ako takot. Kaya sa akin, the state should be out of this conversation. It's between two private citizens.
So take a more conservative approach.
Partner, before mag-break tayo, no, because I think we're due for a break. Very quickly lang, no, gusto ko marinig ang views yung dalawa. Kasi in the past, meron akong alam na isang kilalang media personality, finailan ng isang malaking law firm ng libel. Without mentioning na lang ng pangalan ng law firm. I was also a practicing lawyer then for Accra Law at that time. No? But ang ginawa nila, talagang hinaras nila yung journalist. Nag-file sila in each major city ng libel case.
Parang kilala ko to.
Kaya wala silang... so ang media personality was so harassed because she had to take her oath, or he or she had to take her
Talaga
oath.
sobrang blind item. Sana sabihin mo kung boy or girl.
Di ba? Talagang file siya. Ano sa tingin nyo? Is that, again, another reason why we should decriminalize? Kasi naharas talaga siya. Gumasto siya. Lumipad siya from Apari to Hulo. Kasi finailan siya ng libel case in all these cities within the Philippines.
Siguro to temper lang the procedure. Kung nag-file ka ng kaso ng libel, tapos na yun, una lang.
Hindi ka pwedeng pumunta sa iba.
Hindi na ka pwedeng pumunta sa iba. That represents everything.
Anyway, we have rules against forum shopping. So if it's the same cause of action, that should
I think they knew
forum
it.
shopping.
But at the end of the day, sa kanila, maski na ma-dismiss,
Basta pagod ka
maharas
dahil
lang,
maikot-ikot ka.
gumastos ka, mag-file ka, kukuha ka ng lawyer, kasi kailangan mo kailangan mong sumipot.
Mag-appear sa lahat,
Kaya nga siguro, I don't know if that's already been addressed in the forum
Same
shopping.
experience tayo, Micah. Pero
ganun
sa
ba?
akin, with the Free Legal Assistance Group,
Flag.
against very powerful religious organization.
Okay.
Pinailan nila yung isang miyembro nila dahil doon sa nagkakaroon ng conflict na nagkaka-power struggle within that.
Oh,
Pinailan
alam ko na
nila
ata
all
to.
over
Alam ko
the
rin yan.
Philippines. Diba? All
Alam
over
ko
the
rin yan.
Philippines. So that's exactly my point, diba? There's abuse of the justice system. Pag nandun yung batas, kahit na good intention yan, it's always, sinasabi nga, diba, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Doon ako natatakot, no? And para sa akin, kung meron namang ibang way, huwag na lang. I'd rather err on the side of free speech.
Yeah, very interesting discussion
Indeed.
talaga. Pati yung short break natin, na-delay. But we do have to take that commercial break. So for now, we'll hear the final thoughts from our guests when we return. This is Abogado.
Welcome back. You are watching Abogado, and partner, what a discussion it is.
Yeah.
Again, as always, especially when we have two fantastic guests, we always run out of time. So the topic for tonight, for those who just tune in, should libel be decriminalized in the Philippines? Arguing, of course, for decriminalization, we have Attorney Dino De Leon, who champions free speech and reform-oriented justice and says that it's some sort of prior restraint. And of course, Dean Mel Santamaria, who emphasized the need to preserve the law's protective role in our society. And now, I maybe ask both of you to share with our audience and with us your final thoughts.
Well, sa akin, sisimulan ko lang, no? Wala namang perfect choice dito. No? Meron talagang punto kung bakit kailangan may penalty. And I will not stand for yung mga nambabastos, yung mga naninira, di ba? Wala yung lugar sa society natin. Hindi yun ang tanong. Ang tanong is, how do we strike the perfect balance or the best balance given the limitations? Sa akin, through civil liability yan. I'd rather err on the side of free speech rather than the abuses that we are having the status quo wherein ang nasisira ay yung free speech, freedom of the press, and in a lot of instances, silencing yung mga legitimate thoughts naman and expression ng mga tao.
Okay, very concise. Thank you, Attorney Dino. Dean Mel.
Para sa akin, mga jurnalista, mga lehitimong mamamahayag, mga broadcaster at mga media people, i-decriminalize natin yan sapagkat may halaga sila sa ating sociedad. No, sila ang conscience ng society natin. Pero doon sa mga, vicious bloggers na binabago ang anyo ng isang tao, talagang gumagawa ng evil things sa internet para makasira sa isang tao, bigyan natin ng konting kulong para matuto naman.
Okay, so very short and concise for both. Pero Dean Mel, ito yung tanong ko because you keep emphasizing yung pag-distinguish sa mga journalists. Pero like Attorney Mike, my partner here, said, sa sobrang dami ngayon na may vlogs, it's hard to make that distinction because others would say, technically, I'm a journalist in a sense because I always report about public issues. Kailangan ba na parang journalist sila na accredited or nasa isang station talaga sila, isang TV station or part of a broadsheet para tawaging journalist?
Ulitin ko lang yung sinabi ni Attorney Mike. Ang tatanong ko lang sa kanya, paano mo binet ito? Kumuha ka ba ng 3 sources? Kung wala, hindi ka journalist.
Ganun ba yun? Paano
Kasi
kung may iba
dapat
naman journalist, well, I don't know how they vet their source, pero tinitake na kasi ng publisher nila yung responsibility once they allow it to be published, right? Pero pagka, let's say, marami naman silang vignette, ganyan, pero nakakasira talaga yung report nila.
Okay lang yun.
Is that the standard?
Okay lang yun. Sabi ka ng Korte Suprema, kung hindi mo pinahayag ang iyong source, kung nagkamali ka ng konti, at kung ginawa mo lang one-sided reporting, pero wala kang high awareness of falsity, ayos ka. Wala kang hindi ka guilty kung broadcaster ka, kung media ka, at kung journalist ka.
Kaya nga partner, siguro nga talaga, para sa ating mga nakikinig, no? Pag public official ka, siguro dapat, sabi nga sa case ng US versus Bustos, di ba, na pinag-aralan nating lahat, you cannot be too onion skin. Kaya pag public official ka, talagang expect na titirahin ka, that's par for the course kasi you're a public official. Therefore, you should just be assuaged with the balm of a not guilty or innocence conscience, if I may paraphrase the decision of US versus Bustos. Pero kung ikaw naman ay private, syempre, mas mababa na yung threshold. Kasi privado ka, so medyo pag may mga mali, whether it be libel or slander, or slander by deed, isama na natin yun kasi makasama naman lahat yun sa that kind of defamation, etc., malicious. So, yun naman, ang level doon is, in the sense, mas madaling i-prove kaysa yung sa government official.
But I have a question on that because the standards that I've seen in Supreme Court decisions is also someone who's gained, who's become famous, has gained popularity in society. So, mga artista ba, are we expecting them not to be onion-skinned as well? Kasi hindi naman sila public officials. Or yung
but
mga,
they're very popular na.
or yung mga ngayon, meron na tayong influencers na wala pa to nung time na sinulat yung mga Supreme Court decisions dati. Pero they do sometimes have gained popularity.
And
pero
their popularity,
hindi
partner,
sila
kumikita, hanap buhay nila yun. They're being popular gives them the millions or the billions for that matter. At pag siniraan mo,
talagang malaking effect sa kanila, di ba?
Ano naman yun?
Para sa akin, kasama sila.
Kasama sila sa public officials?
Para sa akin, kasama na sila sa public. Kasi pinili nilang magkaroon ng madaming subscribers. Ginusto nila na madaming mag-click sa subscribe. Madami na silang kliyente. At kung magsalita sila, very powerful ang media. Sa radyo, sa internet, isang salita mo lang.
Influencer, bibili ka agad ng produkto.
Na yan, ang nakikinig. para sa akin, yung mga sikat na yon, kasama na sila sa public figure. Para sa akin.
Mas
I agree.
marami.
I agree
Ang gandang
completely.
punto rin.
Yeah. But when you say naman, Dean Mel, na yung mga dapat parusahan talaga, yung mga binabago yung anyo, I think you're already talking about deep fakes or yung mga sa AI. Is this covered by our laws on libel, Attorney Dino?
Ako baka I'm willing to explore the possibility of criminalizing yung mga syndicated at fake news peddling. Magkaiba yun eh. Di ba? Kesa dun sa, meron akong criticize, it's a private matter, di ba? Or isa lang ako, gets ko yun. Pero yung mga ino-operate na, yung credibility ko bilang tao, hindi lang siya isang tao, I think there is a different, that is a different kind of evil. Kasi it's an entire operations, devoted yung machinery, and kailangan mo i-counterbalance yun with the help of the state. Diba? Pero
So
kasi
that
nag-iisa
does
lang rin
become
ako
like a public issue na
It's
rin,
a public
no?
issue kasi, diba, it's an entire operation against me, diba? May isang malaki sindikato, yung mga troll
So, mga
farms,
trolls.
for example. So sa akin,
Troll.
separate and distinct yun from the question of libel. That's beyond libel, diba? That's operations of fake news. I may be open, pero nakikita ko na medyo merong tension ito when it comes to free speech na argument, di ba? Pero ang kailangan mo i-prove kasi doon is yung element na malaki yung operasyon para manira. Ito, ang kailangan mo lang sa libel is may inutter ako, kaya totoo hindi, basta nasira ka, pwede ako makulong. Ang
Yeah.
baba rin ng threshold eh. Di ba? Yun, talagang papakita mo, dapat ano yung mga gamit nito.
There's a conscious effort
may conscious
to
effort. And
destroy the reputation
hindi
of
lang
someone.
conscious, organized, di ba? Na maraming mga cellphone, troll farms, basically. Magkaiba yun eh. So sa akin, ayoko rin ng mga ganun. No? I think that is a different conversation altogether. But I am uncertain whether yung mga ganong operation justifies the existence of libel in our laws.
I'm sure they can come up with a term for that and have a separate criminal law provision for it. But what about deepfake?
Alam mo, sangayon ako dun sa gagawa ka pa ng isang batas if only to show the gravitas of that kind of activity. Halimbawa, meron tayong usual murder. Di ba? Pero kung ginawa mo, parricide, nagbabago sila eh, di ba? Halimbawa, ginulpi mo ang bata, simple physical injury, pero pwede mong ihabla sa 7610. Mas malaki ang penalty. Yung gravitas, gumagawa ka ng batas, binabago mo ang penalty if only to show, iba to. Parang pareho, pero ang gravitas nito, ang epekto nito, mas malala.
So
Pwede yun.
partner, pwede natin ma-argue siguro na, again, this is an example where the law is unable to catch up with technology.
Yeah, and I would say,
And it needs to
as a
catch
lawyer,
up.
as a lawyer, I would say that the current definition of libel is not part
Sufficient.
of deep fakes. Like, it's
Yeah.
not an utterance. Iba eh. So, I think it requires a separate law in order to penalize that specific act.
Oh, yeah. Agree.
Well, ang masasabi ko lang naman, partner, share ko na rin sa inyo. When I was a young lawyer, I represented a big newspaper. Finailan ng libel case yung dalawang top reporters nila. Eh, sa awa ng Diyos, na-dismiss naman.
So this is, is it because of you? Dahil ba magaling ka abogado? Is that
Hindi ko
the
na
point of the story?
Hindi ko lang. Kinikwento ko lang na na-dismiss naman. Isa yun sa mga unang-unang kaso ko when I was a young litigation lawyer, so to speak.
Kaya pala memorable. But
Yeah, memorable.
this is really an interesting topic and very timely since we have the 20th Congress starting soon. Then perhaps this is one of the laws that they can revisit.
Yan. So talagang, again, let's repeat, talagang this is another example na isang, yung batas talaga, kailangan talaga mas mabilis na mag-react sa mga talaga nangyayari. And technology is really moving fast and it's moving much faster than it did 5 or 3 years ago. So again, that was another very, very exciting, interesting, informative, passionate discussion on a very important topic, should be decriminalized libel. So we would like to thank again Attorney Dino De Leon and Dean Mel Santamaria for an engaging and again timely discussion.
As always, here we engage in dialogue that empowers citizens, informs public policy, and defends our democracy. This is Abogado. Good night.
Okay.